As a nation, the Métis have always been multilingual. In the early days of the Métis Nation, the Métis were known for being able to speak First Nations languages like Cree and Soto, as well as European languages like English and French. However, did you know that as Métis people, we also have our own languages? In the early to mid-1800s, Métis people started to develop their own languages within the Métis community, which later became known as the Michif languages or Michif. They are incredibly unique languages that borrow primarily from Cree and French, but also sometimes borrow from Soto and English. As the Métis Nation grew and formed its distinct culture and identity, Michif became one of the most used languages within Métis communities. While we often talk about Michif in the singular sense, there are actually three Michif languages: French, Northern, and Southern. These languages aren't considered dialects, because speakers of Northern, Southern, and French often cannot understand each other. Here is some more information about the three languages. French Michif is mostly influenced by French. This is historically spoken in Métis communities in southern Manitoba, like Saint Laurent and Saint Eustache. Northern Michif is mostly influenced by Plains Cree. Northern Michif is also sometimes called Métis Cree, Michif Cree, or Île-à-la-Crosse Michif, because of its ties to northern Saskatchewan and northern Albertan Métis communities, like Île-à-la-Crosse, Lac-Sainte-Anne, and Lac-La-Biche. Southern Michif is the language with a fairly even mix of Plains Cree and French. It is most often associated with southern Saskatchewan and northern Dakotan communities like Turtle Mountain Chippewa Reserve and the Qu'Appelle Valley. Southern Michif is sometimes also referred to as Heritage Michif or Turtle Mountain Chippewa Cree. It is important to know that each Michif language is spoken throughout the Métis homelands today and have their own dialects depending on the geography of the community. For example, the Northern Michif spoken in Île-à-la-Crosse, Saskatchewan might be slightly different than the Northern Michif spoken in Pinehouse, Saskatchewan. This is because language is greatly influenced by the community, and each community is unique and diverse. We believe all of our Michif languages are important to our culture and identity as Métis people. If you have relatives who speak Michif today, you might be curious as to which language they speak. Keep in mind that the terms Southern, Northern, and French Michif are fairly new terms that a lot of elder or mother tongue speakers might not recognize. In past decades, people called the Michif languages by other names, and sometimes referred to them as French or Cree rather than Michif. Questions like, where did you grow up? Where did your parents grow up? And how much Cree or French is in your Michif can help you narrow down which Michif language your older family members might speak. If no one in your family currently speaks a Michif language, but you would like to find out what your ancestors may have spoken in the past, you can narrow down which Michif languages they might have spoken by looking into which communities, regions, or historic Métis settlements your ancestors lived in. While it can be meaningful to learn which languages your family spoke, many families may have had speakers of two or more of the Michif languages. Learning any of the three Michif languages can be a fulfilling way to honor your family and build your connection to the language and culture.